Welcome back to the Summer Major of 22 Weekend Round Expert Division, hole number 5. Here we're going to be setting up for a sniper rough bump for our approach. The drive plays P3 10% max. It's a full overpowered drive. You can set this up and switch to a luminary to slow down the needle if it bothers you on the drive. You'll just need to add more curl because you have one bar less of side spin to play here. So at P3 max rest, APOC 5 and 6, your yellow ring will be on the right rough line. APOC 7, you'll have 2/3 of the red ring in the right rough at P3 max rest, and APOC 8 will have 1/3 of the red ring in the right rough at P3 max rest. The spin set is 4.5 top spin, 3 right spin. I know here I used 5, but that's a tweak that I've made to try and get it a little more consistently into a plus yard number for our approach. So 4.5 top, 3 right spin. If I said left, I didn't mean it. 4.5 top, 3 right, P3 plus 10 max, full overpower, and then it's right curl so that your center line is touching the outside of the shot circle. Full OP. It said you can switch to a luminary. If you do switch to a luminary to slow down your needle, add more curl because you're going to be short one side spin on the drive. We're looking for anywhere between 377 and 382 on the drive, preferably. That puts us in plus yards nicely. But the drive is not the most consistent given the different wind angles and wind strengths that we see. So, uh, you know, be prepared to have to count a couple of rings if you're not quite set up in plus yards. Also, you see I'm just out of plus yards here. Also, you want to set up and make sure that your yellow ring is completely in the rough on the left. So you don't want your yellow ring in the fairway. If you set up too close to the fairway and you hit a great, you might miss the rough altogether. So just the spin set for the approach, the basic spin set is 2 top spin, 1.2 right spin, and then you'll have the tip of the ball guide just going into the center of the cup. The adjustment is P3 minus 5% at slider, right? So at 0 plus yards, it's 70 slider, plus 1 is 72 slider, plus 2 is 75, plus 3 is 77, plus 4 is 80, plus 5 is 82, plus 6 is 85, plus 7 is 87, plus 8 is 90% slider. Now, for every ring short you are from the plus 1, you'll minus 2.5% from the slider. From the 72 slider, because plus 1 is 72 slider, right? So if I'm 2 rings short of the plus 1 to get into my position, then I'm going to minus 5% from 72. I'm going to play it at 67 slider, which is what I did there. Okay. 2 top spin, 1.2 right spin. Make sure your yellow ring is always in the rough. P3 minus 5, add slider. Most of the time, if you get the proper rollout on the drive, you'll be in plus yards. Only other note that I have here is that if you have winds between 6.9 and 7.3, minus 0.2 from the adjustment, and for winds between 7.4 and 7.7 miles an hour, minus 0.3 from the adjustment. That's for the approach. Now, if you do that and you find you're missing left, it's because there's several wind angles, but on the approach there's 2 major wind angles. One is more crosswind, where you're pulling closer to that tree, and the other one is a little bit more headwind, so you're pulling kind of at an angle a little bit. In general, you may not need to subtract as much if you have the more headwind angle. Whereas if you have the more crosswind angle, you're obviously going to be pulling further into the rough. So you definitely need to minus in the higher winds. In the crosswind angle, you may not need to minus as much in the headwind angle, but that's something you're going to have to play around with. It is a good shot. I have made this several times in a row and a very good chance at a drop. So practice it a couple times. Get your tweaks that are needed for your pull angle and what you're seeing. Confirm the drive. Make tweaks there if you need to. And good luck. I hope you get the drop. We'll see you on the next hole.